Hello viewers and welcome to another session of Architectural Plan. In the last two sessions, we have seen how to create the axes and assign different names to those axes as they are the initial stage to draw any architectural plan. Now we will go towards the formation of walls. For that, we will take the wall layer. We have to give continuous line type to the wall. However, currently it has been set as the previous one, like axis. You can see as the line is being stretched, the center line type is being shown. We have to change it to continuous afterwards. First, we have drawn a vertical line and then a horizontal line. With the help of offset command, we can simply replicate the same line segment at a specific distance, like this. We can use the trim command to get rid of those unnecessary lines afterwards. But first, we change it to continuous. So in this way, we have removed the unnecessary and unwanted lines. This is not the correct way. I'm not sure the chamfer can do the task. We have to do it manually with the help of a line segment. Yes, like this. Now let's move further. In order to create a perfect line for the wall, which have a certain part on the left side, or better to say on the one side of axis, and replicate the same on the other side of axis, we have to keep the exact distance for all of them. Let's change it to continuous first and see the effect. So here we have seen how a specific value have been assigned to this horizontal line and then extended further to create a vertical line of this specific value. Small alterations can be done afterwards as well. With the help of trim command, this part can be removed. So with the help of offset command, we can see a replication towards the other side of the axis as well. The unnecessary and unwanted lines can be removed again from the same trim command. Another way to do it is by holding the line and then decreasing its length using those blue dotted anchor points. Some people call them as extension points. It does not matter as far as the purpose is being served. Another approach to do the same could have been the use of rectangles, since we know the height and the total width of the rectangle. It is quite an easy task. A part of wall has already been formed. Now with extending these lines, as I mentioned before, using the anchor points and then using the trim command can easily serve the purpose. Let's take it slightly back to keep the consistent distance from the axis points. While creating layers, we have seen a very nice homework by the student, as he knew about the color codes and the convenience of layer types. However, while creating walls, we can see some disruptions and confusions, because a very better and unique way could have been devised, since we have axes all along and we know the exact dimensions. But still, we must appreciate the efforts of every worker, especially if the person is beginner. Let's move further and see what's next. Next, we have to complete the walls again. So, for that, we will again go check what type of lines we already have, and then we can extend them by holding those anchor points. We can create another line segment as well, but sometimes it is convenient to take the same line and extend to the desired distance, so that we don't have to join again and again in order to make one complete line segment. Now we can offset it again like this, and then we can remove the unwanted area. Another tip for all the beginners is that there is no need to reactivate the command again and again by going to the top of the ribbon. By simply pressing the space bar, the last activated command reactivates again. So, if you are trimming or you are using multiple line segments, you can simply press the space bar from the keyboard, and the last command would be reactivated again. You might have seen some professional draftsmen how they quickly use those commands and create an entire architectural plan. These are the basic tips and tricks that they always use and become unique from all others. There is no rocket science in using AutoCAD. All we need is hard work, dedication, and consistency. The more you work, the better you get. Like I always quote, that practice makes the man perfect. Some additional reference access lines have been drawn. Since they are secondary and not primary purpose, so there is no need to give them a specific letter or alphabet. Again, the offset command would be quite handy. Now we have joined the corners. What we have to do is simply use the trim command and remove unnecessary lines. Now this line has been closed for some time being. There is another requirement of some secondary axis. So we will create some secondary axis. Again, I would say there is no need to assign a specific alphabet or numeric to these reference axes. Once we get the reference axis, we can start by drawing the line segment until a specific distance is reached, like this. Let's close this geometry, and then we can use the offset command and then the trim command to make it a closed region. If you have seen the final drawing or the DIY project file, you can see a solid orange color hatching inside these walls. So another approach could have been to use the orange hatches for all these walls, beside the fact whether these walls have consistent closed region or not. And afterwards, we can simply turn off this white layer, so we only have the orange hatching lines that are visible. So it is another perk, or better to say a tip, that could have been used if we are doing the replication of an existing model. But I like the dedication and devotion towards this project. Like here, a complete professional drawing is being drawn. although some approaches are not quite convenient, but still it is highly appreciated. So the use of this command is also quite fine as it has saved a lot of time. Another way could have been used of different type of arcs, but again this one is quite convenient. Now some part of the wall is still pending, so we have to see how it is being completed. If you remember the actual layout, here we have a wall for kitchen, so we have to draw it as well. Below kitchen, we had some dining room and some living room. There was a partition at this point, so we have to create a partition as well. Once all the walls have been formed, we will create some room for doors and windows, which is the next step. So, if we conclude all the steps, the first step was the creation of axes. The second step was assigning of names to each axis. The third and the foremost step was the creation of walls, or sometimes we call them as outlines. So, you have seen in this way we have created a partition. All of the work till this exercise can be evidenced is merely use of very simple and decent tasks, like the use of a line segment, the use of a circle, trim command, offset command, and nothing more complex, which shows that highly professional drawings are created with the use of very basic and very convenient easy steps. However, when we see the complete result together in a layout, we cannot tell whether which steps have been used to create such marvelous work. Now we have to finalize the walls, so we will look into it briefly and see where we need some partitions or the spaces for either windows or doors. After leaving the space for doors and other accessories, we can assume that the wall structure has been formed, and then we will move towards our next step, where we will add some windows and then some doors to each room wherever it is required and applicable. You can see how we have used very precise tools and specific dimensions for each and every room wherever we required specific lengths for doors provision or for windows provision. So this was all about the session where we have seen how to create the walls of an architectural plan. I have shared different lackings and tips and tricks in order to get a highly professional and very accurate architectural plan in less time. Let's call it a day. See you in the next session. Till then, take care.